As I walked over and picked the Gideon Bible up off of the floor, I said, well, Warden, I didn't see God, but I sure feel him. I grabbed the Gideon Bible and shoved it out through the bars, and I said, hey, Warden, how'd you like to let this real Jesus, that soul man, walk out of this book and turn you and these guards on? The guards were already gone. The warden started backing away and said, hey, Brian, it's okay, man. You just stay in there and keep praying, as he walked down the cell block. I wonder where he thought it was going to go. The bars are only about 3 inches apart. I finally got out of the hole, and I was with the rest of the prisoners in cell block G, cell number 12. My time is all gone, but I've just got to mention the biggest and toughest gangster in the prison, Curly. He had spent 30 solid years behind prison walls. He was only 4 cells down from me. I walked out of my cell and went down to his cell. I wanted to just tell him how beautiful it was since I found this real Christ. I walked in and he said, Brian, was that you singing last night? I says, well, Curly, I don't know. I says, what'd you hear? He says, oh, something like, oh, how you love Jesus. Tears filled my eyes, and I said, yeah, Curly, that was me, and he loves you too. I said, Curly, would you just let me pray? And all the rest of the prisoners from the whole cell block had lined in beside the cell and around behind me, looking through the bars, and they started laughing and making fun. But Curly jumped to his feet and said, shut up! The next guy that opens his mouth, I'm going to hit him on the top of the head so hard, I'm going to cave his neck down to where his ankles is. I was scared. I wanted to run. I wanted to talk to him later. But I started to tremble and shake. I thought, oh, if Curly starts swinging, none of us will get out of here. But I reached out and said, Curly, let me pray. And I put my hand on his hand that was on the chain that held the bunk out from the wall. And I felt his hand reach around and grip mine. And I thought, oh, Curly, don't break it. And I bowed my head to pray. I got so scared I didn't know what was going to happen. So I thought maybe I better try and protect myself. And so I grabbed the Bible and I laid it on his head. And I said, oh, Jesus, you got to make Curly happy. You got to turn him on. You got to do for him what you've done for me. I looked up and I said, come on, Jesus. You got me in this now. Come on and get me out. And just then, from underneath the book, Curly looked up with tear-filled eyes, streaming down his cheeks and splashing all over his khaki jail shirt. A smile came over his face and he said, Brian, you know, if I never helped anybody, he would have been worth it all. He jumped to his feet and cried out, hot dog, I've got it. I started running out into the cell block and I ran up and down the cell block. I said, Warden, 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 you won't have no more trouble with Curly. No more trouble with Curly. He's got what I've got. You don't have to be scared of him any longer. Ha! The warden came running out into the keeper's square. He said, hey, what's happening? The guard at the end of the cell block said, I don't know, but I just think that Curly got what Brian got, that Jesus he talked about finding in the hole. And the warden said, lock that Ruud up. Everybody's going to be getting saved.
From that jail cell in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, where he was awaiting trial, facing a possible 30-year sentence, he went to Queen's Bench Court, where God confounded the evidence against him. Hair and fingerprint samples refused to match. He was set free of all charges. He walked from that courtroom into schools, colleges, churches, and city auditoriums, speaking to thousands daily, relating to them the story from a bum trip to the trip beyond.